So how are you doing? What are you making? I have cat hair all over my face and it is so annoying.
You know what? I'll just say this. Is the grocery store going to get mad at me if I complain about the carts not being returned?
Wait, what?
Like if I come on the podcast and complain about something or talk about something,
Yeah.
am I supposed to talk about no people, places, or things while I'm here?
Honey, you've got a big storm coming.
Hello everyone, how are you today? I hope that you're having a really good day so far. If you are new here, my name is Taylor. I come to you from Baltimore City, Maryland, and here on my YouTube channel I feature content that is generally focused on knitting and spinning. In today's episode of what I call the Threads Men podcast, where I sit down and I share with you the things that I'm currently working on, I have a new skein of yarn to show to you all. I have challenged myself these last 4 weeks to spin a skein of yarn every single week. And I did that with a strategy of preparing my fiber between Sunday and Tuesday, so whenever I have time. And then on Wednesday and Thursday, I will spin a bobbin of singles on each night after work. And then on Friday, I will ply them both, give it a soak, and have it ready to show off on my Saturday recording. This is the final skein of yarn from my merino fin cross fleece that I took home from the Maryland State Sheep and Wool Festival. I'm very happy with this yarn. I spun it a little finer than the other three because I did notice that the fiber I had remaining was a bit lighter than the rest. It doesn't quite measure up to these three. So I decided with the 3 skeins I've already made and I've shown to you in previous episodes, I'm going to knit the Celeste Tea, which is a design by Suri Nordlund, I think is her name. She has so many gorgeous designs. I think I could spend all day looking at each of those Ravelry pattern pages, reviewing people's projects, and then deciding how I could use my entire stash to knit so many of her patterns. I've never knit one of her patterns before, so I don't know. We'll see how that goes. I wonder if you've ever knit a Suri Nordlund pattern, what your thoughts were. Was it easy? Was it difficult? Did it fit well? I would love to know more about your experience. This skein, I'm just saving for some future colorwork project. As always, it's just a 2-ply. I love a 2-ply. I think it's kind of all I need. Although a 3-ply would be a little bit more perfect, a little bit more round. I feel like 2-plies are so rewarding. It's good enough. It's good enough, especially with my tensioning improving each and every skein. I feel like my 2-ply yarns are more balanced than they've ever been. In fact, I think I took this off the Nitty Noddy and it barely had a twist to it. Once you ply your yarn and maybe you let it rest for a minute. I barely let my yarn rest once plied. You can take it off the bobbin with this little contraption I have downstairs, and then when you pull it off, sometimes your yarn will kind of have this like twirl to it, and that might mean it's either overspun or overplied and just has a little bit more life to it than a really balanced yarn. But after you soak it and you let it kind of dry, it will balance itself out like this one is. But this one was barely twisted when I took it right off, which told me that I have gotten better at tensioning my singles and not over twisting them too much, which I think is the habit I have taken the most time to grow out of. I did slightly underply this yarn in a few areas. You might be able to see it. And that is not an aesthetic that I prefer. Very much like the look of over plied yarn. Not so much that it's like a spring, but I just think it feels a little like tighter and a little more resilient. I'm going to give you one last little close-up of this yarn here. You can see that the ply is a little bit uneven. I did have some moments where my cats were kind of leaping into my lap in my spinning chair and I would not stop plying to accommodate them. I would just kind of like lift my arms out of the way and continue to ply at a strange angle. And of course I would take my eye off the ball a little bit. I could continue to do sort of the same pattern and speed, but I do think that that did not help in my endeavor of spinning a very balanced and even ply, but it is what it is. Other than spinning the skein, I have knit the slightest amount on my raglan pullover. I began to knit the body once more, and I have it on a very small circumference needle here. I do like to knit on the smallest circumference possible because I do think it helps me load my left hand needle. I think last week when I sat down to knit, I moved my stitch marker up to where I started, and it looks like I might have only knit like 3 rows. So how are you doing? What are you up to? Are you doing anything fun this weekend? I am intending to take 1 week off of my spinning goals. I do want to spin a skein of yarn every week until Maryland sheep and wool, but I do want to give myself this week off of spinning because I want to catch up on this sweater. I want to finish as much of it as I can. I've felt a little overwhelmed lately, I think with the transition of seasons, and there's so much to, I think, prepare for in the garden. I've been a bit distracted from my knitting, and of course the spinning has consumed so much of my effort. But I want to get back into my knitting, and there's so many projects that I've started and I'm deep into that I'm so close to finishing. I really need to just stop and knit. I need to knit more. I'm sure I'm not alone there. But I would love to know what you're making if you're close to finishing a project or two. And what you plan to cast on next, because I'm already thinking a lot about what holes I have in my wardrobe, what I've gotten the most wear out of the things that I've made, and like what could I actually utilize more if I had. I would like to make more fancy shirts for my wardrobe, something that's really loose fitting and really light gauge. I really would like some nice and loose fitting, lightweight knitted garments. So I'm thinking that if I cast on anything in the near future, it's going to be a couple t-shirt designs or even tank top designs. I wonder if you have knit any t-shirts or tank tops, if you get a lot of wear out of them, and what sort of seasons you feel like you can wear them easily. I cannot wait for Maryland Sheep and Wool Festival. In fact, I don't even know. I'm so excited that I every day that I sit down and I think about talking with you all I think about is Maryland. And how much I really want to get my act together around here. I want to clean things up. I want to create plans for stuff I own. Like there is a feather pillow insert that I've been holding on to for the longest time, and I've been telling myself that I'm going to make a pillow cover for it. And every time I think about some of the materials that I have had in my stash for the longest time, I say to myself, oh, well, I could make that pillow cover out of that. There's no reason to get rid of it when I can make a pillow cover of it. But then I don't. I don't ever make it. I just think about how I could make it. And I don't know if that's any way to live. I think right now what I want to do is just do the thing. Like Angela Bassett did the thing.
Angela Bassett did the thing.
I'm gonna do the thing. I'm gonna knit the sweater. I'm gonna make the pillow. I'm gonna do the thing because I spend far too much of my time thinking about how I could be doing the thing. And of course I can't always just stop and do it, but I think more often than not it's possible. So I would like to focus my energy this week while I take that break from spinning and work as much as I can on the body of this sweater until it is finally bound off. And then once I've done that, I will construct the instructions for the sleeve pattern. And then I'm going to create a tutorial for my channel on how to minimize those gaps in the underarm where you pick up stitches to ultimately knit a sleeve from the top down. Sometimes you get a gap on either side of where the body split for the sleeves. So I'm going to create a little tutorial on that and incorporate a link to it in my pattern design because I hope that that might help people as they develop their skills at knitting garments. I know that it's something I wouldn't always do, and then I did it for this pattern and wow, it made a huge difference. And it was a lot less of a, like I would do the same thing with a duplicate stitch, but I felt like this technique of closing those gaps was a lot neater and a lot more simple. So I could continue to knit this sweater all day long, but I do want to clean out this room. I'm going to shift around and show you my yarn room from a different angle, and we're going to get into it. I'm going to clean everything out and I'm going to start a deep clean. Yeah, I feel a little daunted by the subject of this, but it is time. It is time.
you had a glimpse inside my head, you'd know I'm different than you. What works for you might not work for me, 'cause that's our solid ground. I'll build a life that helps me thrive. I hope you're doing the same. Through my eyes I see different than you. Together we open new worlds. Different eyes lead to new heights, new views. Together we color the world. Discovering self to know how to grow. Genius takes many shades. Truth is we all need to open our minds. Normal doesn't exist. Learn what you need and how you see. Lean deep in your strength. Through my eyes I see different than you. Together we open new worlds. Different eyes lead to new heights, new views. Together we color the world. Through my eyes I see different than you. Together we open new worlds. Different eyes lead to new heights, new views. Together we color the world. Together we color the world.
That is it for this week's episode of the Thread to Mend podcast. I want to thank you so much for watching. If you want to find me on social media, my name is Taylor E. Owen on Ravelry and Instagram. And you can find me on TikTok as Taylor Knits. I am not the most active on social media. I do find that I use Instagram the most for connecting with people that message me, and I'll message back and forth with people, but that's like pretty much all I open the app for on average. Although I have caught myself scrolling that kind of like For You page a lot more than I used to. I feel like the whole timeline feed thing has gotten a little bit tired. Like the only accounts that I even see are the ones that post like multiple times a day. I want to thank you all so much for being here. If you're in the live chat, hello and goodbye. I am so glad that you made it for the live premiere. And if you didn't, I am just grateful that you took the time to be here now. So thank you all so much. I hope that you have a wonderful day and a wonderful week and that you take care.